I was like, well, I'm not supposed to talk about people who aren't in the other company, but you
Well,
did rework them, so I
but
made the
here,
videos.
well, let me ask you this: is this part of the new era? You've heard that term
Oh, the
infinite
forbidden door is
times.
open.
Yes, that's actually someone
Yeah.
on WWE TV said the phrase specifically this week
Yeah.
or last week. The Paul Levesque era.
Multiple people
Maybe
did. Yeah.
they even said, but and then they said, perhaps the door's not so forbidden anymore. Like they
Oh.
alluded to that, and I was like, what does that mean?
Oh,
What does that
interesting.
mean? And of course, we've seen other companies' champions show up in the
Right.
women's Royal Rumble this
Right.
year, right? I mean, that's about as forbidden door as it could ever be. When you bring the gold
Yeah.
from another company, that's the reason the Montreal Screwjob happened, was to prevent that, prevent
Right.
Bret Hart from showing up on Nitro with
Yep.
the title. You know,
Yep.
um, I don't know what I don't know how to interpret whatever this new reality is. It's like all the rules that used to exist don't exist anymore, and now they're dreaming big, and now the creative licenses are just, people are signing legends deals, people are coming back,
Right.
people are interested in that left the company years ago mad, now they want to come back, and is it too
Right.
late, and has it passed them by, and
Right.
this is a wild time to be a wrestling fan. This is a wild
It,
time.
it is. It is. So let's go there. So WrestleMania, very clearly from the Hall of Fame speech, Paul Heyman came
Yeah,
out and sunk the old era, let's just say, which I thought was pretty interesting
he
because
was the guy to
I don't
do
know
it
if,
too.
oh yeah,
He was
yeah,
the guy to do it.
yeah, but he flat out said this sports entertain, haha, forget that,
Yeah,
professional
right.
wrestling,
That was
and
a
it was like,
flag in the ground
ooh,
moment of, we are
ooh,
reclaiming what
yep,
this actually is. We are reclaiming
yep,
it. Yeah. Yeah, I think so
yeah,
too. That was a real,
yeah,
what they say, a shot across the bow.
right,
I can't imagine anybody that used to work in the company was watching that. I can't imagine that they would
how they felt.
actually, no, just that they would even turn it on. I can't
Oh,
imagine.
interesting,
And if it was, oh, to be a fly on that wall. Could you have
right,
imagined to be in that
yeah,
penthouse as a fly on the wall
right.
that night?
The
Ooh,
fly on the wall with a giant hole in it as a chair flies through it,
right.
or yeah,
How funny was
I
it when
mean
Heyman
he went
told
right in.
Levesque that Stephanie married the wrong Paul?
The
That,
wrong Paul. Oh my goodness, his whole Heyman's whole Hall of Fame speech was
yeah,
incredible. I mean, it just, we
incredible.
could do a whole episode on that. Yeah,
Incredible. And he's
it was
earned the
so
right
good.
to say it. He's taken
Yep.
it on the chin like a champ for decades. And now the gloves were off. And he
Right.
got to say, he got to speak his piece. And he was
Right.
handpicked by his new boss to be the
Yep. The
Hall of
first.
Fame headliner, you know?
Mhm.
So I have to believe that
Yeah.
was intentional. I mean, I just have
Oh,
to.
absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
and to start the show, to be the marquee name and go on
Right.
first, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's great.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the way, like Pearl Jam doesn't come out first, and open for whatever flavor of the week band that they brought on tour with them. So
Right.
this is like, whoa, the headliner's out up first. That's wild.
Yeah, it was. It was very wild. And then to follow it up, I think, hey, we could talk about the wrestling in a moment, but night one, Triple H introduced, Paul Levesque introduced Welcome to WrestleMania, very clearly made his mark. They did the national anthem instead of America the Beautiful, because famously the previous booker
Oh,
did not like the national anthem, so would not allow it to be played.
I didn't
Only
catch that.
allowed
That's
America
a
the
good
Beautiful.
catch. Wow.
Yeah, both nights. And then Stephanie coming out night two. That was the this is a thing. This is something different because that is her, in fairness, aligning herself with her husband and the vision that's coming forward. Like literally,
She's
welcome to the
great.
Paul Levesque
I've
era.
always loved
Wow.
Stephanie. I've always loved
Wow.
Stephanie. Much in the same way, I've always liked Ivanka Trump as the daughter, like on the Celebrity Apprentice. Let's put it in
Right.
context. She was the reason I used to watch the Celebrity Apprentice, was because of Ivanka.
Gotcha.
There was a time in wrestling where Stephanie was, and still is, I think, when she speaks, you better listen because
Yeah.
it's going to be very significant. She only
Right.
announces the big stuff. She doesn't do
Right.
small appearances. She doesn't
Right.
come out for no reason. She's not arm
Yeah.
candy to Triple H. When she comes out, she's coming out as an authoritative voice
Right.
of the future and to define the present always. That's the only time
Yep.
she speaks, is when it's worth
And
it.
she
So
threw her weight hard behind
yeah.
this is the Paul Levesque era. And then they did it again. And then Monday night, we talk about the Raw after WrestleMania. They did it again. And then to point to Cody, spoilers, if you haven't seen WrestleMania or Raw,
Oh, we're
and say,
so past
this
the
is the
point of
guy.
spoilers. Like
This is the
now,
guy who's
like two
taking us
weeks
into it.
ago, if you haven't
Right.
seen Mania yet, you better come out of that coma and turn it on.
All
Yeah.
right, Rick Grimes there.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Wow.
I mean, Mania was like we were live chatting in
Right.
Discord. I mean, it was like all like when it comes time for Mania, you can't say I'm watching on delay unless you
Right.
turn off your phone and refuse to
That's
look
what I
at
did.
it because you will
That's what I
get it
did.
will be spoiled.
Yep.
Everything will be spoiled. So,
So I had to do that because it was my son's birthday party on
oh, happy
Friday or
birthday,
Saturday.
buddy.
And
That's
so,
great.
oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched it later in the night. So I literally turned on, I don't use focus ever, but I turned on the
Right.
focus, do not disturb.
Yeah,
Don't
you
show
got
me
to.
anything. I don't want
You
to
got
see
to.
it. Okay. So night one versus night two, we can get into individualized stuff, but just overall, how would you rate night one? How would you rate night two of WrestleMania?
Night one. Okay, so anytime there's an outdoor event and it's still daylight, it's lame.
Yeah.
Night
Yeah.
one felt like it could have been an all daylight show. The
Right.
match one started, it was still daylight. The
Yep.
Becky Rhea intro deserved the dark. They deserved
Darkness.
full production behind
Yeah.
it. It's weird them coming out when the sun's out and you don't see the production lights. It just has
Yeah.
a almost like that same corny Caesar's Palace WrestleMania feel of where you're just
Right.
like, oh, this is not meant to be done outdoors under the cover of the sun. Like this needs to be, this is a show, this is a
Yeah.
spectacle, this is a production, this is the biggest night of the biggest show. Yeah, so day one. Now Triple H said it well. Night one set the table for everything that would
Right.
happen night two. So I guess you
Right.
had to have it, but they should have included just a little more for the fans. Just a little,
Yeah.
some surprise, some
Yeah.
hubbub. There needs to be, give us a reason to be excited, to think night two is going to be insane. If this happened in night one,
Right.
night two is going to be insane. So I felt
Right.
like I was
Yeah.
underwhelmed night one.
Agreed.
And so I watched night two with an air of suspicion almost that I should not have had. I'm like
Right.
waiting for the other shoe to drop and to say
Right.
things haven't changed. This is the same predictable crap that it was 5 years ago. Like
Right.
that's what night one did to me.
Right.
I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest joy from night one was them splitting the tag titles
Yes.
properly.
Yes.
That is like the, if I could have had one request from night one, that would have been the one request, and that request was granted. So
Yep.
win, win.
Win-win. I agree. I agree. I think Grayson and Theory getting the SmackDown belts, I was like, that should have been DIY. Other than that, I agree. I think
Yeah.
it was a one match card. It was the tag match at the end. Really, I think including the Gunther Sammy match, which I had some hopes for. I did not like or care for any of the
Did
matches that were
I did
presented in a
like
strong
Gunther
way.
Sammy. I
So,
forgot that was night
yeah.
one. I that
Yeah.
was a big but I also thought they could have worked in the Rocky theme
Right.
more. They could have pressed into it
Yeah.
more. They didn't. I don't
Yeah.
know why. Even to where the Raw after Mania, Sammy came out with a shirt like
Right.
of his wife's name. I can't remember her name, like
Yeah.
Persephone or something like that. But it was like the same quote of like, "Hey Adrian, I did it."
Kadisi or something like that.
Yeah. So
Kadisi or yeah.
yeah. I and so like obviously there was a Rocky parallel. So much so
Right.
that he wanted his merch to reflect that. And yet when he won the title, they should have hit the Rocky song dun 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 dun. Philly would have Philly would have needed the dude
Billy would have
wipes if
loved
they would
it.
have
Right.
that would have
The
happened.
dude
They
wipes.
would have needed the dude wipes because they would have crapped their
Wow.
pants if that music hit
Wow.
when Sammy raised that title.
That's
Side
awesome.
note: Did you hear? McAfee say? He said, "Dirty Dom looks like a used dude wipe." He said that on Raw. He looks like a
Yeah.
dude wipe after you wipe.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
The home of the
Wow. But
Philly
other than
cheesesteak should also be the capital of dude wipes, just for the record. Those
right.
things go hand in
Just
hand.
wow. Again. Wow. I didn't catch the Rocky, possibly because I've never seen a Rocky movie. I didn't catch the
Right.
Rocky Connections night one, but I
Yeah.
definitely thought it should have been Chad Gable. And I will admit I begrudged Sammy for it. I was like, you're not Chad
Oh,
Gable. I don't really care about you being here.
it would have made
And
more sense if it was
um,
Gable to be Rocky because he would have been
yeah,
kind of the US champ versus
right,
Drago,
right.
Dolph
Ivan Drago.
Lundgren's character, who's basically
Right,
Gunther. I mean, there was a lot of
right,
parallel, and they were in Philly, the where
right,
the setting of Rocky takes place.
right.
Um, the
That makes
local
more sense to
hero.
me now, and I appreciate
Yeah,
that better now. But Sammy's from Quebec. That's
they
not
didn't play
local.
into it. Yeah, they
And
didn't. They
right,
didn't play it. They didn't play it the way they could have, and that I think took away from a little bit of the pop. It could have been
right,
world class, blow the roof off pop if they would have done that.
right.
Maybe there's
Agreed.
licensing right. Maybe they couldn't. What if they could not play that song because
We've
of
got the
loss? What
Rocky
if
characters in our game, WWE Champions. I'm just
yeah, but
saying.
and
But
that's what I don't know. Is a license temporary? Do you only have
yes,
permission to use the license during
yes,
X amount of time? So
yeah,
maybe the Rocky moniker is completely not licensable, or they couldn't get it, or they didn't.
it's something.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but they
I
still
have
could have played, they could have homaged it more. I mean, I guess I see it
sure.
now with him coming to the ring and him seeing KO. I did like, transitioning tonight too. I liked how they used that to set up KO coming to the ring and seeing Sammy like, I did this. Can you do it? And yeah, yeah. So my feelings on night one, 2 out of 10 at best for me. But
Whoa,
night
no,
two,
2 out of
10 out of 10.
10, bro.
10 out of 10.
People are
I
saying this
was
was the
I
greatest
was not
WrestleMania of all
excited.
time. How can night one be a
40,
2 out of 10?
night two.
But
Night
how?
two,
But
I
how
think
can
saves
how?
the whole thing.
But that lowers your score, your cumulative score, if you divide, right, and take the law of averages, right? So then you're down to like 4 out of 10 average score, five.
Wow. I don't know if that's the math's right, but maybe.
Somewhere. If it's yeah, 10 and 2, and you divide and say, yeah, divide by 2,
10
it's
and
got
2
to
is a
be
12 out of 20. So yeah, you're right. It's a 5 out of 10 overall. I don't know. It just night one was nothing for me. There was not, I mean, the match that had to happen was the tag match, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. I thought, great, that worked out perfectly.
When
I
was
hoped for
when was
Seth to
night
lose both,
one?
and he
When was
did.
Damian Priest match? Night two?
Night two. Yep,
Okay,
night
okay.
two.
I'm about to say because that
That was
was
exciting.
epic. That was
That was
epic.
they handled it so well. That's why I say
Yeah.
everything night two. If night two was WrestleMania 40, I would say it's probably the top WrestleMania of all time. With night one included, it's maybe my third, maybe third, fourth
What about
WrestleMania.
the what
So
about the montage ending of The Rock coming out, Cena coming out, Undertaker
on night
coming
two,
out?
yeah.
I don't did I love that or did I hate that? And I don't I does that mean does Cody not have a clean win? That's where I'm just like, why did they
Right.
need to do all of that? People loved it. People
Oh
love the
yeah.
nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going, does this taint somehow his championship run? And why did Seth not get even in the ring? Like Roman shut that down. Was that how that
He's
was
hurt.
written? Where
Yeah,
Seth wasn't
he's hurt.
even able to get in through the ropes before he gets nailed? Like,
Right.
did you think Moxley was coming back?
I did, honestly. When they
I did
started
too.
the Shield thing, I was like, oh gosh, his contract might, I think it's up. Oh
Yeah.
my, what if he,
Yeah.
oh, because I was hoping for
It took a
somebody
long
new to
time to get
interfere.
Seth on camera, too.
Right. And
That's
you're
why
like,
I
oh,
think, was there a
oh, oh,
botch? Did that moment get botched? Was he supposed
I
to
don't
come
know.
down the corridor or the stairs and he was in the bathroom? That's why I'm like, did he miss? Did he miss his
He was
cue
using the dude wipes.
because he wasn't on camera at the right time? And then when he was finally
Oh,
on camera, it was only in time for Robin to not even give him a chance to get in the ring. And I was like, oh,
right.
that was terrible. Why did they? Why did they?
Yeah.
Why did he show up in the flak vest, in the boots, with the dyed hair, and just get whooped? That
Get absolutely whooped.
and then you're like, is this the end of Seth Rollins? Like, what in the world? Like, that was bizarre. That was bizarre.
Right.
That can't be how it was written, right?
I don't know. I maybe.
Did he snap both quads? He had to sit in the ring.
Right.
He came marching out.
Oh. Well, what it did though was it gave Roman the moment where he could have hit Cody and won the match, but instead he couldn't let go of the vice of what Seth did to him all those
Right,
years ago. So when
right.
he hit Seth, that was him choosing to lose. He
He
chose
chose
destruction.
revenge. He
So
chose
he chose
revenge
revenge.
instead
Yeah.
of victory.
Right.
And
So it's so well
it was his
written.
downfall. Same thing with
Yeah.
Drew. Drew
Yep.
chose to let his obsession with Punk be his downfall, right? And so we
Yep.
saw some really good, complicated storytelling, I thought.
Absolutely.
But I
Yeah.
also
And how
thought
Rock beat
Rollins.
Cody night one. That was great. Sorry. Good.
No, I don't know if it was great. Was it great?
I liked it. But you said you saw Rollins.
But was the tag match just junk? Was the tag match pretty junky? Did that go into your
I told you
factor?
night one as a whole, 2 out of 10 for me. Like
I didn't like
the
the
only match
story
I
at
would say
all.
on,
I didn't like the Rock
yeah,
story, Mama Rhodes. I didn't like any of it.
the final
I
boss.
don't like it. Now I like that.
Yeah.
I liked heel Rock. I just didn't. It was lame. It was pretty lame.
Right.
It was
I
pretty
think if
lame.
if we could have moved the tag match from night one to night two and moved Bailey versus Io from night two to night one, you would have the worst WrestleMania and the best WrestleMania back to back for me. For me.
The worst WrestleMania was the Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam and the Undertaker fake mask. I was at 10. I
Right.
think it was 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
terrible WrestleMania. Um,
Right.
what is Bailey?
What is Bailey? Like, why did
Yeah.
I not like the Bailey
No, what
match?
is
Or
she? Who is she?
oh,
What
I
is
don't know.
this?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not invested.
Now, I heard someone say she couldn't go back to Side Pony Bailey, Huggable Bailey, because everything they're writing and saying is this is a new era, not this
Oh,
is the old era, right? We're
that
not
makes
just doing
sense.
nostalgia. Now, main event aside, right? Um, was that the putting to bed of all of the old era? Was that why Undertaker had to come out? And did he somehow embody the spirit of the old era?
Yeah,
And then when the lights went
absolutely.
out and he was gone, right?
It's like, that's it. It's done.
And the ring is clear. And it's
Mm,
just like
mm.
my son was like mind blown. Where did he go? Where's the Undertaker? Like Cody's holding up the belt and he's like,
Right,
I still want to know where's the Undertaker? Did he just, did he disappear? And I'm like,
right.
now you get it. This is the
You
Undertaker.
got
This
the
is what he does to
magic.
you. He makes you wonder. He's weird. Yeah.
Right.
But I wondered if that meant like, okay, the page has turned. Not only that,
Good.
you have the Then Now Forever, the new
Mm-hmm.
opening montage, which is kind of celestial. It's in the
Right.
stars. It's Paul Levesque's voice
Yep.
narrating. Um,
Yep.
Whatever marketing wizard is behind this, they're being very, very, very intentional about the rebrand of the
Oh
WWE,
yeah. Absolutely. I
including
like that.
superstars like Bailey. We don't know what
Yeah.
she is. She's her promo said role model again.
Right.
Her outfit gave nothing away. Her
Yeah.
entrance gave nothing away other than she's an Egyptian goddess, I guess, queen, Cleopatra.
Right.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
I
wasn't as cut
I
and dry.
like your parallel. That is like, I haven't heard anybody say that, but that is the symbolism of Undertaker closed the chapter. Like WrestleMania Night 2 was the crossing of the streams. This is the new. There's your old. Now it's done. Like,
He can't
I
bring
didn't
back
think
The
about that,
Rock.
but that's
You can't keep
brilliant.
bringing back The Rock then, if that's true. You can't bring him back for WrestleMania or whatever secret item he put in Cody's hand. And like, I don't want to see it. I don't care. I don't want to
Oh,
know what it was, the pocket watch that his father concealed in the war or
right.
whatever. I was just like, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Oh.
Don't
Well,
do it.
you got a really good parallel in that that little soliloquy about night one. So can I add one
Yeah, of
thing to
course.
it? My embodiment of night one is perfectly encapsulated in Seth Rollins's gear. The entrance attire, like that giant blue flower that was like,
Yeah.
what the heck? It looked like a growth on like a donkey's butthole or
Oh
something. I
my
don't know what it
gosh.
was, but that was WrestleMania Night 1. WrestleMania Night 2 was the height of celebration. It was, oh, just so so good. I think WrestleMania 40 will go down as one of the most important and probably one of the best WrestleManias ever, I think.
Yeah, and I think WrestleMania is never really that important of a show either. So, I mean,
Really?
yeah, it's I don't know. It's usually the reset. It's usually
Mm.
I don't like
Culmination of a chapter.
yeah, I mean it never really affects the future.
Well,
Um
this did.
yes, I agree. So yeah, there's something that we're going to have to kind of wade through and as it evolves. I don't want to ramble, but I just think like
Yeah.
oftentimes Mania feels like the one of the least important shows of the year.
Oh,
But
interesting. I don't normally feel that. I like Rumble's the most important to me, but Mania is the culmination. So maybe it's because there's no more build up. It's just the payoff that,
maybe
boom, and then you get night after Mania. But yeah, I would say, I mean, Yeah, Damian Priest cashing in, which we skimmed over, but my goodness, was that ever like so well done?
Yeah.
Like the whole CM Punk Drew thing, like that is my favorite thing happening right now. And I love it. Like, did you see the graphic that was like the champions going into and out of WrestleMania? And it was like Roman Reigns, 1,500 days, Gunther over 660 days, this person, blah, blah, blah. Drew McIntyre, 5 minutes.
Oh
It's like, that
no.
was so good.
I love
So
it. I
good.
didn't see it, but I love it. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think Drew's a real champ or is he just a filler? Is he a inter
Well,
is
since
he
he,
a I mean, okay,
you
Damien.
mean Damien
I
or,
meant
oh,
to say Damien. The reason I said Drew is because with the booking in this Glasgow show,
yeah,
um, it's it really feels like the build, at least I think, is for Drew to capture the title there on
right.
his homeland. Um,
Yeah.
so is Damien going to keep this belt a long time, or is Drew just going to take it from him in a few months? That was the I think I
That's a good
answered
one.
accidentally the question I was asking.
Yeah. Well, no, but you led me to a thought I hadn't had before because I haven't thought about the fact that Clash at the Castle is coming up. So 100%, my head canon now is that Drew builds up towards Clash at the Castle, beats Damian for it, and then CM Punk beats Drew for it at SummerSlam. I think that's the
Hmm.
pathway they're going for. And then they've got to, because Drew needs to be on the chase.
You
Like it's
know,
great for him to win it, but he needs to be chasing. And if CM Punk has the title and CM Punk screwed him out of it somehow, that would be like, that would build Drew's journey. I like
you
that a
know what the
lot.
perfect role for CM Punk would be in my mind would be Money in the
Hmm.
Bank briefcase holder.
Oh,
Like
wow.
that would give me so much hope
Interesting.
to watch the show. Um, Priest, I mean, right, his cash in took forever. But I think if Punk had it, and I'd be thinking like, oh man, is tonight the night? Like I think he would really ham it up and do a great
Right.
job. And he would be a a villainous, it would continue to build. He would just haunt people with the briefcase. I would love it. I would
Nice.
love, love, love that.
Ooh. What if Drew wins Money in the Bank?
I don't like Drew at all. I don't want like Drew and Rollins can be a tag team on I don't know, NXT Fast Lane. What is that show called now? The Twitter only show, the
Level
X.
up. Oh, speed.
They can go to Speed and just do their thing there where I don't see it. I don't know.
That's
Do I care?
funny.
Why do I care about Drew? Like what makes me care about Drew at all? Is there
Hmm.
anything?
Hmm. I mean, if you ask, I mean, it doesn't seem to be because, like, I'm watching and I think Drew is probably number one or number two, like, in terms of who am I excited to see? Like, maybe Cody, but definitely Drew. But it's probably Cody, right? Like, Cody's the one that I want to see, but Drew's the one that every time he's on, I'm like, this is going to steal the show again. I'm excited about it.
That's crazy, bro.
So
That's crazy.
it's okay. It's
I
okay.
mean, you're entitled to your enjoyment of wrestling, and that's what kind of makes wrestling great is that we don't all like the same thing. Um, I want to like Drew. I want to care. Just give me a reason to, you know,
Gotcha.
like like battle carrying cross for Scarlet or something like that. Do something just do something just wild, bro. Do something that's gonna
Right.
make us care. Um,
That's awesome.
I don't know. Maybe he needs a valet to be interesting
Mm,
again. We talked a lot
that's
about valets. Like
yeah.
maybe he needs one. Maybe he's great on the mic, so it's not like he needs somebody talking for him, but he
Right.
needs to give us a reason to care about him.
Mm,
And I don't feel like
mm.
I have that. Because like his motivated by what is he motivated by with his dislike of CM Punk? Like what's the motivation?
I
I don't know
mean,
that I even get it.
gotcha. CM Punk came back and immediately took spots in the company that other people were working towards, and he legitimately in real life stormed out angry when CM Punk came back, and so they're playing into it, or at least legitimately in real life, as far as we can tell, it's not a work, but
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, he legitimately hated the fact that CM Punk was coming back, and or they just really are playing the story long game, very long game, uh, because his reputation, everybody said, "Oh, CM Punk's toxic. He's going to ruin the company. He's going to whatever." And Drew was the guy when everything else fell apart. He carried the company on his shoulders. He was the pandemic champion, which sucks for him, but he carried the company. I cared about the championship because he was the champion, and he never got his flowers. And CM Punk comes back and takes the flowers out of the vase right away. And so, I mean, I
Hmm.
think it's legitimate. Like, I follow the story. I mean, I feel more invested in that story than, like I say, most of them. And the fact that CM Punk screwed him over on the night after Raw again, I was like, this is so good.
I loved it. I think I see like, is Punk actually growing as a heel? If I like what he's doing more and more, the more he torments Drew, the more I like it. That's what I'm like,
Right.
is that the way a heel is supposed to work? Maybe I just
I
like
don't
the
know.
heel,
Yeah.
in general.
Right.
So,
Maybe you do. Well,
all right. Well, we've probably talked things to death as we always do. Our April MLC kickoff show is coming to a close, but we'd love for you to, of course, share this with your faction. Maybe like us on whatever podcast app you use for audio podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on audio, head over to YouTube and give us a search, WWE Champions Chat, and you can find us. And Lee, why don't you take us out?
yeah, well, it was an honor to be a part of this conversation, as it always is. It's an honor to be in the community of the Champions mobile game, the best wrestling game ever. And we will see you guys on the next one, which is Friday night on the official channel, and then back here next week for another podcast. Bye.